Hi, this is Miss Rain from imvu, and today we are going to go over how to make a denim texture. And we are also going to go over how to read a mesh. Pretty simple stuff today, so let's go ahead and get started. First, I'm going to go into File, and I'm going to go to New, because I am making the denim texture. Alright, so I'm going to make it 600 by 600, and make sure it's filled with transparency, and then I'm going to hit OK. Alright, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and select my blue. I actually already have a blue that I like, which is this one right here. We're going to go ahead and use that. And I'm going to bucket fill that. Alright, and let's switch that back over to black and white. And I want my white on top. Alright, so I'm going to add a layer. And I am going to go back down. Sorry. And I'm going to go to my noise and RVG noise. Make sure your independent box is unclicked. You do not want no check in that. Turn your red, green, and blue up to 30 and hit OK. Now we're going to go back up to the top layer and go to your patterns. Once you get to your patterns, you'll look for your stripes, your fine stripes, and we're going to drag and drop into that top layer. Alright, now once we do that, we're going to lock the offset channel, and I'm going to go to bucket fill, and this is why we make sure our white is on top, and I want to fill with the foreground color, which would be the white. Fill whole selection and do it just like that. Now we're going to hide that layer. It might not make sense to you right now, but it will in just a second. Alright, so go back down to your bottom layer, and we're going to go to filters, and we are going to go to map and bump map. That did not take it. Let's try it again. Filters, reshow bump map. Okay, now I'm going to tell you exactly what I did wrong. Alright, we have a couple things we need to do still. Alright, so we're going to go back to our top and unhide it. And we're going to go to layer, and we are going to scale layer. And you'll go right here. Normally it's in pixels. We don't want it in pixels. We want it in percent. Once you get in percent, we want to change that from a 100 to a 200. If you hit enter after you change the top one, the bottom one will change, and then hit scale. Alright, next we want to rotate. We want to rotate this to about a 10-degree angle. Oops. Alright, there we go. Click rotate. Now let's hide that. Go back in the bottom. Go to filters, reshow bump map. And there you go. Now you can see the lines of the denim. Alright, we're not changing anything. We are just going to hit OK. Let's close that one out. And there we go. As you see, it's starting to look more like denim. Alright, so now we have to add the realistic effect to it. Alright, so we're going to add a layer right here in the middle. And I'm going to grab my gradient and go to my toolbox options. And I want to leave this as it is. And I want to leave it in normal mode. So we are going to just drag right across the screen, just like that. Now I'm going to go down and I'm going to change it to difference. And now I'm just going to kind of just go all kinds of nuts. Alright, just like that. Now I'm going to go back to my layers. I'm going to go down and I'm going to overlay. And voila, we have us a denim realistic texture. Can't get no easier than that. It seems like a lot, but it's really easy. Just sometimes the hard part is getting Gimp to cooperate with you. Alrighty, so now on to our next thing. We are going to be talking about the difference between AP and GP products. This is our minimum coverage guideline for imvu. You can Google it. Make sure you always have this. You need this. Very, very important. Alright, now I'm just opening a basic body map. Alright, this particular map is the base, or the basic map. This is universal to all sizes, no matter what they are. I believe there's about 17 sizes that I've run across. There might be more, there might be less. I don't know. But I know I personally have made up to 17 different sizes on clothing. Alright, so I know for a fact that this is universal. This actually, if you look at it, also lines up with this right here. Alright, I'm actually going to drag and drop that over, and let's turn this down some. Alright, and now you can actually see what I mean when I say this is universal. This is your arms up here. Until you know how to read a map, this is a good way to get to know your body parts on the maps. Pretty much. Alright, right here. As you see, this is the breast area. Alright, right here on this map. The breast are, you notice, you can actually tell what area the breasts are. More towards the center would be the nipple area. Also, I wanted to tell you that what I love about, maps like this is anything you do to one side, you can do to another. And we'll get into further details about that when we start actually doing OP maps, which will be this next class. Alright, so back over here. This is the booty part. You can see right here it has a shadow and everything. It pretty much lines up really evenly. But this is the booty. This is the pelvic region and everything. And this would be our waistline right here. Alright. Most maps, when they are laid out flat, are like this. Some of them are where they are front and back, or it's a side portion only. As Sis 3D, I notice her bottom maps are pretty much like, a left side and a right side. As far as her pants and everything goes. Her tops, some of them are also like that too, or front and back. Gnarly 3D Max is another creator I love to use. Those maps are, mostly front and back. There are two pieces to those maps, so they read a little bit different, but this is the basic map. Really, really easy. Also, when you load into editor, this would be your underwear layer, or the layer you would use to fix any glitch. Say you're making an outfit or a top, and it's glitching really bad in the armpit area for some reason on your main layers, and you can't figure out why. So all you would do is you would add a layer, and what I normally do, oops, go back up to my brushes, wherever you're glitching at, go in and paint that area. Say it's an armpit, paint that armpit area, so that way it will cover up any glitch. Alright, say you're having a glitch down here in the leg area, go in and paint that area. You won't have to worry about that no more. It'll take care of any glitch. Alright, so now on to our next thing. Is what we are going to do is we are going to make a pair of bra and panties. Alright, now as you see here on the minimum coverage guideline, it already has pretty much a bra and panties on there. You can take the easy way out. You can trace it, which is what I normally do. Or sometimes I don't even make a bra. I just make sure that there's panties and that there is no nipple or the red area showing in my outfit. And you can check that in your editor as well. And I will show you guys about the lotus position, how to check your underwear, make sure that all your AP areas are covered up. If they are not covered up and you mark it as GA and somebody catches it, you can get in trouble once you get too many of those. Alright, so be very, very careful. I've had that happen a couple times and my areas was covered. It's just the people, didn't review it correctly. So yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started on this bra and panty. Alright. We're going to do this in an opacity map form. Alright, let's go ahead and get rid of this. I'm not even going to use that right now. Alright, since these two, you know, pretty much go together. Okay, so I'm going to add a new layer. And I am going to trace this out. You don't necessarily have to do it like this. This is just the easy way. You want to get all the red areas covered. Alright. Now I'm going to bucket fill that. Select and then none. And then that takes away my little marching ants. It's okay, I didn't get all that covered, but that's going to be fine. I can always make this bigger. Scroll down here, take my little brush. And do this like so. Alright. Go back down, and now as you see, I'm covered. Alright, so you don't have to worry about that any longer. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this layer. And I'm going to flip it. And that takes up the other side, so I'm going to merge those two down. Now I am going to add another layer. And I'm going to take my paths tool. Actually, no, I'm not. Let me backtrack. Let's go ahead and do this area right down here. Make sure you're very careful because otherwise you could paint areas you don't want to paint. Alright, let's go ahead and bucket fill this. Select and then. Now, mind you, these, unless you plan on making this an outfit and nothing else, these do not have to be perfect. You could actually just, you know, do it like this, you know, make sure your little red area is covered just like that, you know, kind of. If you wanted to do this like this, you could do it like that and call it a day. As long as your AP parts are covered. That's all that matters. It does not have to be perfect, alright? Let's go ahead and undo all this stuff. But I am showing you guys how to do a bra and panties, so we have to do it the correct way. Alright, now I'm going to use my paths tool. You need to add another layer. Take your paths tool. You can manipulate it really, really easy. Just like so. Just kind of get it however you want it. And then we'll go into toolbox options, stroke path. And we're going to do it about a 5. Alright. Now I'm going to go in and duplicate. And then we are going to flip. Alright. There we go. That's panties, pretty much, in a nutshell. Like I said, you can take more time, less time, and do them as perfect or however you want. But you get the idea that this is what has to be done for IMVU. Alrighty, so homework. This pretty much wraps up the class. Homework for this class will be make a denim texture. And I want to see screenshots of that in all your layers in GIMP. And make a pair of panties using your minimum coverage guidelines. Make a bra and panties. Make sure when you make it, there's a bottom layer that you turn black. So that way, that is what we call our opacity map. I want to see that, but I also want to see a screenshot of all your layers into GIMP. Alright, if you have any questions or concerns, just feel free to message me at on IMVU at Miss Rain, and I will get back to you guys as fast as possible. You guys have a blessed night. Bye-bye.